Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to the final edition of the Batwoman Season 2 review series. And today I am going to be talking about episode 18, the Season 2 finale, Power, which I have just finished watching. And this episode was really good. There was one moment which was epic, but at the same time a little bit of a letdown, but I'm hoping it's going to be expanded upon more in season 3. But aside from all of that, this was a very good, strong episode. And I'm going to be honest about season 2. There have been a couple little minor clunkers, but by and large, this has been an excellent season. Much better and a lot more stronger than season 1. And when it was announced that Ruby Rose had left the show and Javicia Leslie was taking over as the role of Batwoman, I was very skeptical and very concerned how are they going to continue the continuity that was already established with Kate Kane. But they've done an excellent job. As I said, it hasn't been 100% perfect. As I said, there's been a few little minor clunkers along the way. But by and large, I've really enjoyed this season a lot more than I enjoyed season 1. Even though season 1 had some very good episodes, I would say this season has been much, much better in my opinion. So we saw the debut of Batwing, aka Luke Fox, but unfortunately we only got to see Batwing for just one scene. But however, it was a cool moment to actually see Batwing make his Arrowverse debut in Batwoman. However, I'm hoping that this ain't going to be the last time that we see Batwing. I'm hoping we'll get to see a lot more of him in Season 3 on the field with Batwoman and have a much bigger role, because Luke Fox has been the glue that's pretty much held this show together, really, for the good guys. And now that he's finally put on his own Batsuit, maybe we'll see Batwoman and Batwing work together to stop the bad guys. I think that would be pretty cool. And if we're not going to see Batman and Robin or Batman and Nightwing, then I'm more than happy to see Batwing and Batwoman working together, if that's the closest thing we're going to get in the Arrowverse. However, there was one little issue that I had with the Batwing suit. It looked okay, but it didn't look half as good as the promotional picture that I saw of the suit. I thought that picture of the suit looked a lot better. It looked more like something out of the Batman Beyond comics / animated series. In the show, however, the top and bottom parts looked fine, but the mask just looked a bit too Power Rangers for my liking. But I'm hoping they'll upgrade the suit in Season 3 and make it look a whole lot better. But it was still a cool moment to see Batwing come to the rescue. But unfortunately, that's all we got, was just one moment. However, the end of Season 2 finale, we kind of got a little hint at who the main villain could be for Season 3, which I'll talk about in a moment. A little bit surprised, a little bit skeptical, but at the same time very intrigued to see how they're going to make that work. As I said, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But by and large, this was a pretty good, solid episode. And overall, I think Season 2 has been really good. And hoping now that we've got a stable Batwoman, that's Ryan Wilder, played by Javicia Leslie. Let's just hope there's no more changes, because, you know, sometimes change is good, but I'm not in the mood for any more changes. Let's just have one stable character and let's just take it from there, really. So what we have seen in Season 2 so far is Kate Kane disappeared and now she's back and she's under the control of Black Mask. And we saw in the last couple of episodes she stole the Batwoman's suit and she's kind of carved into her own sort of costume, and now she's on a rampage working alongside Black Mask as Cersei. And we saw Ryan Wilder and Kate Kane have a fight, which I thought was pretty good, and we've seen Ocean get killed off, and we've kind of been seeing Alice on this road to redemption sort of story arc she's been embarking on. So she hasn't really been the main villain for this show, or for this season in particular, should I say. She has still been the villain, but she's not been the focal point. She's been more like on a mission to try and help Kate Kane get her memories back. So that's been quite interesting and enjoyable to watch. And, you know, Rachel Scarsden, absolutely love her. She just rocks as Alice. And I've always said that she's the main reason that I've still been watching the show to this day. She's an incredible actress, and I look forward to seeing her come back at some point in season 3. I don't think I would like to see Alice as the main villain again, because, you know, that's getting a bit old now. I'd like to see someone else take the spot for a change. Perhaps Alice still there, of course, but I think I would prefer if someone else gets a chance now, because the whole Alice thing's kind of been done to death now. And, you know, you can only do so much with that. So, with that all said, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the Season 2 finale, Episode 18, Power. So we see Black Mask takes over Gotham's television airwaves, calling on Gotham citizens to don their own Black Mask and dismantle the systems of operation in Gotham. Cersei dons a new updated version of the Batwoman suit, which we saw at the end of the last episode, and then Black Mask cuts all of the power off in Gotham City. Sitting in darkness, we see Ryan writing a letter to Gotham City about her time as Batwoman and questions whether or not she can still continue. The rest of the Bat team try to figure out what to do next, and Luke gives them walkie-talkies to keep in contact. Ryan, Luke, and Sophie eventually figure out where Black Mask might be broadcasting his feed from. We then see Alice show up and decides to join forces with Ryan and Sophie, just as a group of Black Masks outside almost kill the mayor, and Ryan gives Sophie her walkie-talkie and suggests that she and Alice should infiltrate Black Mask's hideout. Ryan and Alice drive to the hideout, and Ryan argues that Alice doesn't deserve her forgiveness. Alice tries to turn the fact that Ryan's mother died in childbirth against her, and Ryan, of course, slaps her. It's funny with Alice. She still wants forgiveness for all her bad things, but she can still be quite horrible at the same time, so that makes her a very interesting character. We then see in storage Luke finds drawings he did as a kid of what his own version of the Batsuit could look like, and with Lucius's calculations added to them, he finds a fully functioning suit that Lucius Fox, his dad, built for him. So this was quite a cool moment to see Luke Fox finding a Batsuit, because we all know, anybody who reads the comic books or has seen Batman Bad Blood, we know that Luke Fox does become Batwing. So this was kind of a nice, cool moment to see Luke Fox's story arc kind of get paid off in a way, because I've been clamouring for Luke Fox to put on the suit ever since this show started, and I'm really glad they're finally paying it off here. We then see Black Mask injects Taravov with some of Bane's venom, which the snakebite is expected to counteract the side effects to. While Taravov is being injected, Black Mask tells Cersei his plans, causing chaos, and then orchestrates having somebody else wear the Black Mask so Roman Cyanosis can publicly execute him and be crowned the hero of Gotham. Taravov flatlines and is tossed about by Black Mask and ends up at Mary's hospital, where she notices that he's grown a lot bigger. Mary radios Luke and suggests they expose Kate to snakebites to trigger her memories, but she gets sidetracked when Taravov wakes up and attacks her. Taravov chases Mary up a scaffolding, but Luke, now in his new Batwing suit, shows up and saves her. See, this was actually a good moment, but unfortunately this is all we get. So, all that hype was for nothing, but it was still a cool moment, nonetheless. Just would have liked to have seen a lot more. We then see an army of people dressed in black masks loot the city and even destroy the bat signal. Ryan and Alice make their way into Cyanosis' lair and proceed to fight Cersei. Vesper reads Batwoman's letter on the radio, which ends with Ryan calling on the citizens of Gotham to rise up and be their own heroes. Mary gives Ryan a spray of snakebite to give Cersei to trigger the memories of Kate Kane, but Ryan worries that she can't fight her without the bat suit. Ryan then notices that a number of Gotham citizens have hung their bat masks in their windows to create the outline of the bat signal. Cyanosis fights Alice and argues that she's never going to be a full villain. Alice sprays Cyanosis with the Joker flower spray, as a result of Black Mask's face getting burned and welded into the mask. Nice. In the Batmobile, Ryan chases Cersei on her motorcycle, culminating in them fighting on a bridge. This was a really good fight scene, and a much better one than the one we saw in the Batcave. Alice shows up and sprays Cersei with a snake bite, but in the fights, both of them are sent plunging over the bridge and into the river. In a callback to the first episode, back in Season 1, both Cersei and Alice are stuck floating underwater and are triggered into remembering various memories from their childhoods. Alice is taken to a vision with Ocean, realising that she needs to properly say goodbye to him. Ocean tells her to acknowledge her feelings and to keep chasing them. Cersei, meanwhile, is taken to young Kate's memories, finding Beth held captive in the bunker, and instead of walking away, she frees her. Alice pulls Cersei out of the water, and Ryan pushes to help them using CPR to revive Cersei. Cersei wakes up with her memories fully restored as Kate and recognises Alice as Beth. Just in that moment, the police show up and arrest Alice. This was actually a really good moment, and I'm really glad they finally paid this off. The next day, Gotham begins to rebuild itself, and Vesper, over the news radio, tells Batwoman that they don't accept her resignation and that Gotham love her and we need her more than ever. Ryan goes to her parole hearing, where she argues that she has changed in the time since her release from prison because she started embracing her own power and what she's actually capable of. She is then released from parole with no restrictions. Nice. Kate, Mary and Luke drink beers and celebrate and catch up. Kate asks Luke how he got his own Batwing suit, and Luke reveals that it was inspired by him drawing what he thought Batman would look like. Kate talks about her plans for the future and argues that she can't save Alice until she wants to be saved as Beth. Ryan shows up and Kate and her talk one-to-one. Ryan thanks her for changing her life with the Batwoman symbol, and Kate says that the symbol is now yours permanently. Ryan accepts and promises to take good care of Luke and Mary. This was actually a really good scene, and I wondered if we would actually get to see this, and I'm really glad we did. So Kate is now finally moved on, and she's officially given her blessing to Ryan to be Batwoman and protect Gotham. So I'm really glad we got to finally see this, because I was wondering if we ever would. Kate meets Sophie at the hold-up, where she tells her that she's leaving Gotham to see Jacob and then Kara in National City, and then to track down what exactly happened to Bruce. Sophie kisses her before she leaves. We then see Luke, Mary and Ryan rebuild the Batsuit and the Batcave, and Ryan decides that they should search for the missing Batman trophies before anyone else does, and they should build the new community centre on top of Mary's hospital, which Mary of course accepts. We then see Ryan visit Alice in Arkham Asylum, whose cellmate is next to Cyanosis, who is screaming in pain after the acid is welded into his mask against his face, and tells her that her arrest was proof that the system does work. Alice then reveals that Ryan's mother is still alive. We then see the Batman trophies wash up on shore, including Poison Ivy's vines, which begin to creep around on the island. And that pretty much ends my review on episode 18, and this officially wraps up the Season 2 review series. Overall, good, strong, solid episode and a good Season 2 finale. This has been a tremendous season. Couple of little minor clunkers along the way, but by and large, I've really enjoyed this one a lot more than I did for Season 1. And it looks like to me we could get Poison Ivy as the main villain. That should be quite interesting, and especially as we haven't seen Poison Ivy in live action since 1997 with Batman and Robin, which I don't really want to talk about, but you guys know what I mean. But this has been a very good season. Javicia Leslie has surprised me and done an excellent job as Batwoman and has filled into the role very nicely, and I'm really looking forward to Season 3 and going to see what's happening from there, and hopefully we'll get to see Batwing have a bigger role, and as I mentioned earlier, we'll see Batwing and Batwoman working together side by side, so that should be a lot of fun. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap up this review and this series for good. What did you think of episode 18, the Season 2 finale? Did you enjoy it? What was your thoughts on the Batwing suit? Do you think maybe we could have got to see a bit more of Luke Fox in action wearing the suit? Or do you think that was fine? And do you think he could have a bigger role in Season 3? And also, what's your thoughts on Kate finally getting her memories back? Did you enjoy that? And do you think we'll see her again? And do you think she could possibly find Bruce Wayne? And also, do you think it's a strong possibility that we could actually see Poison Ivy as the main villain for season 3? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time. So, once again, thanks for listening and keep safe, and I will see all of you next time.